So today, let's prepare more international and comforting dishes para na din tayong kumain sa restaurants at nagbiyahe kahit nandito tayo sa ating mga kusina. So this is sweet and sour pork na mamaya papartneran natin of course ng yang chow fried rice. Let's start with the meat. Kailangan nating i-marinate. So first, I have here 1 kilo of pork loin that I've ordered from Fresh Options. Kinat ko lang yan into mga 1-inch cubes. Hindi po ako kumakain ng pork, you can use chicken. Ayaw ko po ng chicken, you can use fish or pwedeng shrimp. Vegetarian po ako, chef. You can use tofu. Okay, so of course, alam na alam mo nang isasagot kong sunod kung anong makakapagpasaya sa'yo. O, di ba? So first, you season the pork with salt, soy sauce, calamansi juice to remove any lansa or off smell from the meat, black pepper, this is grated ginger, and cinnamon powder. Okay, so I'm going to give you a tip. This is your cinnamon powder. You can also use Chinese 5-spice kung gusto mong medyo mas talagang aromatic yung iyong meat. So I'm putting cinnamon powder, and then you put fresh milk. Tenderizer ang fresh milk. Remember, the enzymes from your milk will help tenderize your meat. And also, putting liquid here or the moisture, mas makakatulong yan na kumapit yung iyong karne doon sa iyong breading. So what you're going to do here is, you're going to mix it hanggang kumalat yung iyong marinade. If you have enough time, pwede mong iwanan yan sa loob ng ref kahit mga 4 to 6 hours para mas manuot yung mga flavors. Pero of course, kung lunch time na or dinner time na at kailangan mo na yung isa lang, pwede na din, no problem. So in this mixing bowl, I have cassava starch. This is very similar to the honey lemon chicken na ginawa natin before. Wala po akong cassava starch. You can use potato starch or you can even use corn starch. Wala po talaga ako ng lahat ng yan. You can use cake flour or all-purpose flour. Siyempre lang, mas crispy yung kakalabasan if you're going to use cassava starch or potato starch. So once you see na na-absorb na nung karne mo yung iyong marinade, including the fresh milk, what you can do is, you get some and then i-roll mo lang dito sa iyong cassava starch. Ganun lang kasimple. Very, very quick. Don't overcrowd it because ayaw mo na mag-release ng moisture yung iyong karne dito sa starch mixture mo kasi mako-contaminate ito. Ang mangyayari, magbabasa-basa. Hindi na niya mako-coat ng mabuti yung next batch. Okay, so that's just enough once it's well coated. Next, in my pan, binuhusan ko to ng mantika. This is just ordinary cooking oil, vegetable oil. Pinapainit ko to and you want to make sure that the oil is really hot before you start deep frying. There are many ways of checking it, of course. Ang pinaka-effective is you use a thermometer. Naku, wala po akong thermometer sa bahay. So since Chinese food naman ang ating niluluto, may chopstick ako dito. Ilulubog ko yung chopstick, look. Once you see na bumubula na siya, ayan o, nagre-release na siya ng bula. Ibig sabihin, the oil is already hot. Wala po akong chopstick, chef. O, kumuha ka ng konting cassava starch, sprinkle mo dyan. Once you see bula, the oil is ready. Iwasan mo yung magaganyan-ganyan ka ng kamay kasi delikado yan. Baka ma-overwhelm ka, mapaso ka. So, the next step is to deep fry. So, pag nagdi-deep fry tayo, paisa-isa ang lagay natin ng karne. Okay, look. Maglagay ka paisa-isa. Huwag mong bibiglain. Sa lahat ng bagay, masama yung binibigla. Baka masaktan ka, mapaso ka pala. Okay? So, ayan. Paisa-isa. Bakit natin yan iniisa-isa, chef? Because you want to maintain the hot temperature of the oil. Pag bigla mong nilagay lahat ng meats mo, masya-shock yung mantika mo, lalamig siya. Because of course, yung ating karne is chilled. Hindi mo naman pwedeng iwanan lang ng matagal sa labas yung karne kasi masisira. Kaya, paisa-isa lang yung lagay. Bakit po sa fast food, nakikita ko, chef, isang buong tray po yung binubuhos nila? Syempre naman po, industrial deep fryer yon. Tayo naman po ay pambahay pa lang. So, dahan-dahan lang para siguradong maganda din ang prito. Okay? So, yan. Nakikita mo, no? Ang ganda. Hindi namimilansik. Pag naubos na yung iyong meats dito, I normally use the chopstick. One of the reasons kung bakit hindi namimilansik yan is because properly coated yung iyong meats, nung iyong starch. So, yung moisture is na-seal doon sa pinakakarne mo. So, yung karne plus the starch, na-seal yung moisture. Magsisimula kasing mamilansik yan, yung nagpuputukan kapag ka nagre-release ng moisture yung karne. Okay, and I have here, ano bang tawag dito? Parang basket na, o pamprito. Ayan, pwede mong silip-silipin. Huwag kang halo ng halo, kasi pag hinalo mo ng hinalo yan, mapipiga mo yung moisture from the meat, magpipilansikan yung iyong piniprito. So, I'm going to keep on frying it. I'm going to maintain the heat like this hanggang maging golden brown. O yan, so makikita mo. Kanina, di ba, ang daming bula? Ang unang indicator na malapit na siyang maluto or talagang almost ready na is kapag nabawasan na yung bula sa prito. Di ba? And you will see the color. Ang ganda, di ba? Nicely golden brown. So, hahanguin ko na yan. And of course, lalagay ko yan dito sa strainer to remove the excess oil. Paano po yan, chef? Sa kapapanood ko po ng videos nyo, naisip ko na ba't hindi ako magtayo ng catering business? Iprito mo na lahat yan, tanghali pa lang actually. And kung gabi pa yung catering, pwede mo yan i-flash fry mo. Or me, what I do, pag madami kong pinipritong ganyan, pinapasok ko saglit sa oven. Because of course, you don't have time na pag sa hapon ka pa or before the event, tsaka ka pa magpiprito ng 10 kilos na baboy. Okay? So you see, it's very nicely fried. I'm going to set it aside here and meron pa akong natitirang meats. I'm going to continue frying it and then next, we're going to prepare the sauce. So let's make the sweet and sour sauce. This is very straightforward. Napakabilis gawin. So first, you need half a cup of good white vinegar. Pag liquid po ang ating mini-measure, katulad ng suka, you use a liquid measuring cup like this. So half a cup of good white vinegar. Half a cup of banana ketchup. Nilalagay ko na lahat yan sa kawali para diretso luto na. White sugar, cornstarch. So, hahaluin ko muna yan hanggang ma-dissolve yung cornstarch bago ko ibuhos. Sorry, hindi pala ibuhos. Bago ko isalang dito sa aking kalan. Turn on the heat. And then bring it to a boil. Mabilis lang po yan. Pag nakita mong umusok na yan, ilagay mo na yung iyong onions and yung iyong pineapples. So, ang gagawin ko dun sa onions, hihimay-himayin ko na yan. Pwede mo din lagyan yan ng cucumber kung gusto mo. Okay, you just mix it. Parang nakalimutan ko yung water. Ayun yung water na iwan ko dun sa isang side. O, 'di ba? Minsan talaga may mga importanteng bagay tayong nakakalimutan, pero may ilagay din natin 'yan. O, water. Napansin ko kasi parang kulang. O, 'di ba? Minsan mafi-feel mo na may kulang sa buhay mo, pero abot kamay mo lang, nandyan lang pala. 'Di ba? Maiihabol mo din. Katulad ng tubig sa ating sweet and sour sauce. Bring it to a full boil. Makikita mo, once nagsa-start na siyang mag-translucent, nagsisimula sa gilid, 'di ba? Nagiging translucent. Malapit na 'yan. You can season it with pepper, or you can also put some hot sauce for that added kick. Hindi lang ito pang pork, this is an all-purpose AC sweet and sour sauce. So you see, naging translucent siya bigla. 'Di ba? Nung kumulo. And as usual, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, when cooking with cornstarch, kailangan full boil. Huwag mong papatayin yung apoy hanggat hindi siya nagfo-full boil. Bukas pa yung apoy, I'm going to put the onions to release the flavors and essential oils and my pineapples. Ayaw ko po ng pineapples. Huwag mo lagyan. Actually, dito pwedeng mandarin oranges ang ilagay mo. So, the sweet and sour sauce is ready. I'm just going to put a pinch of black pepper for that smoky feel. Turn off the heat, and the next, we're going to prepare the yang chow fried rice. So now, let's do the yang chow fried rice. Nilagyan ko ng mantika yung aking kawali. This is a wok. And then, ang yang chow fried rice, this is actually the most popular fried rice in the world. O, di ba? Bongga. And traditionally, ang ginagamit nila is yung char siu, roasted pork. But you can also use ham. Today, I'm using chorizo. Pwede ka din gumamit ng spam kung gusto kong yun lang ang meron ka sa iyong pantry. So first, you put your chorizo. And then I also have peeled shrimps sa iyong kawali. Okay, napakadali lang yan. Actually, kung anong gusto mong ilagay mo dyan. And then I'm also putting turmeric powder. Ito yung magbibigay ng kulay sa iyong fried rice, di ba? Bakit yellowish? And I have here 4 pieces of eggs that I'm going to beat first. Okay, into the pan. Kailangan mainit na mainit yung kawali mo. And ilagay mo yung iyong apoy sa pinakamalakas. Season with some salt. Remember, you have to season in layers. And then you put some mixed vegetables. This is optional. Pwede naman green peas lang. And then of course, your rice. Kailangan ang rice na gagamitin mo is hindi man day old. Huwag yung bagong saing. Mas maganda yung napalamig ng konti. I season it with some salt. O, di ba? Talagang yang chow na yang chow, yung yellowish yung color. Hindi po food color yan, ha? This is naturally colored using turmeric powder. At ayan, makikita mo na ang ating perfect pairings. Yang chow fried rice, sweet and sour pork. O, diba? Partner na partner yan. And makikita mo yung rice ko, oh. Buhaghag na buhaghag. That is because, kailan ba tong kanin na to? Kaninang umaga pa, no? Kaninang umaga pa sinaing. Leftover rice from breakfast. And you will see, hindi siya naninikit sa aking kawali. Makikita mo, pakita mo yung ilalim ng kawali. Hindi po yan, kasi mamahalin yung kawali mo. Hindi po yun. That is because, okay, that is because mainit na mainit yung apoy. And then I coated it with a lot of oil. O, diba? Katulad ng sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi kailangang mahal. Ang kailangan, alam mo yung technique at kailangan mahal ka niya. O, diba? Yun ang importante sa buhay. Hindi kailangan mamahalin ang ginagamit mo. Diba? Para makapag-produce ka ng ganitong masasarap na putahe. When to stop? So, ititigil ko na kasi sobrang init na po dito. At kung makikita nyo, even na yung pagkaluto ng aking fried rice. Diba? And of course, it's time to try it. Let's try it. Lalagay lang ako dito. And actually, ito is pwede mong itos. You can toss your... Ganito lang yan. Pag magtotos ka, you just get a bowl. Yung ibang restaurants kasi when they serve sweet and sour pork, nakatos na. Which is also good. Yung iba naman, ayaw nilang nakatos na. So what they do is, on the side yung sauce. You just get some sauce. Then you just toss. The choice is yours. Ako mas gusto ko yung nakatos kasi parang mukha talaga siyang sweet and sour pork from your favorite Chinese restaurant. You just serve it like that. Oh, hindi masyadong maganda ang plating ko. Pero ang importante, alam ko masarap yan. So, hindi ko isi-skip ang tasting dahil talagang kanina pa ako natatakam. The pork is very flavorful. Actually, pwede mo din yung gawing salt and pepper pork. Lagyan mo lang ng bawang. A little bit of black pepper. Isawsaw mo sa white vinegar kasi malasa na siya mismo. And then of course, let's try the fried rice. Nice color.